They said he was just a flashy dribbler, a showboat kid who would never survive Europe. They mocked his accent, his mistakes, and his every touch. In Spain, they didn't just whistle, they hurled slurs, told him he didn't belong, and made him a target. But every time they booed, Vinícius Júnior answered the only way he knew how, with the ball at his feet, with a smile on his face, and with the unshakable belief that no matter how much they hated him, he was born to shine. But to understand Vinícius today, the Real Madrid superstar, the Champions League winner, the symbol of resistance, you have to go back to where it all began. In São Gonçalo, one of the toughest suburbs of Rio de Janeiro, little Vinícius grew up in a tiny house that could barely fit his family. His father, Vinícius Senior, and his mother, Tatiana, did everything possible to keep food on the table. Sometimes, his father worked multiple jobs, just so his son could have boots and transport money to get to training. It wasn't luxury, it wasn't even comfort, but it was love. And that love would be the foundation of Vinícius's rise. Even as a kid, Vinícius wasn't like the others. His smile was contagious, his energy endless. Neighbors said he always had a ball at his feet, dribbling around in dusty streets that looked nothing like the Bernabeu he would one day command. He would copy Neymar, Ronaldinho, and the great Brazilian street ballers. But he had his own flavor, a mix of joy and rebellion in every touch. At Flamengo's academy, he stood out immediately. Coaches said he was raw, wild, and unpredictable. But that's what made him special. At just 16, he made his professional debut. His name was already whispered around Brazil, the next big thing. But Vinícius wasn't just playing for himself, he was carrying his family. Every dribble, every run, every goal was a step closer to lifting them out of poverty. His parents sacrificed everything, and in return, their son promised he would make it. In 2018, when Real Madrid came calling, he became the most expensive teenager in football history at the time, 45 million euros. For a boy who hadn't even turned 18. People called it madness. Critics laughed. He's too skinny, too raw, too Brazilian. And when he first stepped onto Spanish soil, the doubts only grew. Missed chances, awkward finishes, heavy touches. The same fans who once welcomed him began to mock him. Even teammates doubted whether he was ready. But Vinícius had something they couldn't measure: resilience. He trained harder, smiled wider, and every insult became fuel. Then came the darkest part of his journey. In stadiums across Spain, he wasn't just booed for his football, he was booed for who he was. Monkey chants, racist abuse, week after week. For a young boy far away from home, it could have broken him. But instead of breaking, he rose. Instead of silence, he spoke. Instead of hiding, he danced. Each celebration, each samba step, was his way of saying, "You will not take my joy." And then, the breakthrough. The Champions League nights. The 2022 final against Liverpool, when he scored the winner and proved he belonged on the biggest stage. The lightning runs down the wing, the goals against Barcelona, the partnerships with Benzema and Modric. Suddenly, the boy they called a showboat was the man carrying Real Madrid. From São Gonçalo's dusty streets to the Santiago Bernabeu's bright lights, Vinícius Júnior had arrived. But behind the fame and money, he never forgot where he came from. He takes care of his parents, supports his community in Brazil, and invests in education projects for underprivileged kids. Off the pitch, he has matured into more than just a footballer. He's become a voice, an inspiration, a symbol of hope for millions who feel overlooked. Today, when Vinícius steps onto the pitch, he isn't just playing football. He's carrying a message that joy is resistance, that no matter how much the world tries to push you down, you can rise with a smile, that the samba never dies. Vinicius Júnior is not just a winger. He's a fighter, a survivor, a boy who refused to bow. So, the next time you watch Vinicius tearing down the wing, remember, you're not just seeing stepovers and goals. You're seeing the story of a boy who turned hate into power, who turned poverty into greatness, and who turned pain into joy. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Vinicius has already cemented himself as one of football's icons? Or is his story only just beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you felt inspired by this story, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Goal and Glory for more emotional football journeys. Because every legend has a beginning.